Hello everybody and welcome to the Mobile Suit Technician. My name is Chad and today I'm going to be building a high-grade MSN-04 Sazabi piloted by Char as Noble in Char's Counterattack. It happens to be my favorite Gundam and I'm also going to be painting it. This is going to be my first actual full-blown gunpla painting venture. Just kind of checking out the contents of the box, and it has some spoons with some color tests that I'll show in just a minute here. Just kind of taking everything out, seeing what I'm in for. Not too many steps for this gunpla, but there are a lot of parts that have to be cleaned up and painted, primed, clear coated and everything. It took me about 3 weeks to do this one. I'm a married guy, got 3 kids, full-time job. It wouldn't take normal people 3 weeks to do it. You could probably get it done in 3 or 4 days, accounting for a drying time of clear coat. As you can see, there's 2 different colors of red. These are the 2 test spoons. One has a gold leaf undertone and the other a titanium silver, I believe it was, undertone. I think for the darker red parts, I'm going to do the gold undertone. And for the more true red parts, I'm going to do a silver undertone. I know I have horrible nippers here. Later on in the video, Amazon delivers both my glass files and my nippers. Highly recommend some good nippers. They make a world of difference, and those glass files do too. They make sprue tags look like they never existed. Later in the video, you'll see those better nippers. If anybody wants to know which ones I got them off of Amazon. I could share a link with you guys, as well as the glass files. I'm kind of new to Gunpla. This is only my 5th kit. I did try painting one before, but it was kind of just an oddball thing I did for a friend to make a gift for him. But I wanted to sort of mimic that master grade Sazabi that has that super cool metal flake paint job special version. My local hobby shop didn't have that one in stock when I went. I saw this one and I knew that I had to get it. I almost got a master grade Zeta Gundam. I think I'm going to do that one next because I am making myself through the animes. I've watched everything up until Char's Counterattack so far, like 8 or 9 shows. Absolutely love it. So instead of just getting Gunpla that look cool, I'm actually getting the ones that relate to the animes that I'm watching as I'm watching them. And the Sazabi just stands out to me. That is just the coolest one. I love the armor, I love the colors. Even though Char is a bit of a polarizing character, I'm a big fan of Char. And I really wanted this one to pop. I didn't like that basic red plastic that this kit comes in, especially the high-grade kit. Doesn't have a lot of detail, so I wanted to add that detail myself and get a paint job that just looks killer. So taking off those tags with an X-Acto blade to get the bulk of it, and then I come back in with a sanding sponge. Later on I found that using the proper nippers with the glass file, you don't have to clean out those big parts of the edges and those burrs with an X-Acto as much. Definitely recommend those 2 things if you are new or just haven't gotten them yet and you've been building Gunpla. It really makes a huge difference. So I'm just putting everything on the little stands here. I'm going to coat all of this stuff with a Tamiya primer. I use fine and regular, depending on the part. If it has a lot of detail and so small, I'll use the fine. And if it's a larger piece with a lot of flat surfaces, I'll use the regular. And you see those 2 primers here. The fine is a bit harder to spray in that it doesn't cover a lot of surface area, so I would recommend only using that for the smaller parts with a lot of detail. I like the aerosol cans because it comes out pretty much perfect. I have tried using my airbrush to put primer and I just don't get the same results. I'm still learning all this stuff for the most part. And you see that glass file down there, those burrs definitely get erased with this thing. It leaves like little evidence that it was ever there. And the cool part about these glass files is that if you're sanding down, filing down some of the lighter colored parts or parts that are going to be highly visible, it actually doesn't dig into the material that much, and it doesn't leave evidence that you actually filed it down. The glass file does a really good job of concealing the area that you reworked, in addition to making it look like those burrs were never even there. Here I'm just using my Tamiya panel liner. I have to go over all those little details. I use a lot of light on my workbench, so you can't see all of the panel lining that I'm doing, but once I get into some better light, it'll look a lot better. The bottom of the feet I also ended up detailing a lot more. Got some inspiration by some clips I saw online. Panel liner just makes everything pop, shows all those detailed parts. I do clear coat over my panel lining. I usually let my panel lining parts dry for at least 24 hours. And then when I clear coat, I usually don't touch those parts again for another 48 hours. This is one of the better parts, I think. After it's been clear coated, I did change the yellow that was there into gold. As you can see, I kind of laid out most of the parts. This is the second shade of red that I'm doing with the silver undertone. I think I actually used chrome silver for this. Originally I was going to use titanium silver, but I wanted it to really lighten up the tone. And I think it did. In this lighting you can't tell exactly, but the red definitely is a shade lighter than the rest of the parts as the kit intends. And I think when it all comes together, it really adds up nicely. Trying to show the difference, you can kind of see with how saturated the colors are. The part on the right was a bit more of an orange shade. In proper lighting, it's just a deep dark red. And then the part with the silver underneath had a bit of a silvery flake in it that really made that color pop. It was like more of a true lighter red. Getting into the black parts, I did use a flat black base on all of these parts, sort of like a black matte. I think the contrast between the high gloss parts and the matte parts really helped the contrast of the whole piece in the end. With the lighting, it kind of looks gray, but in normal lighting conditions, it is a true deep black matte. And finally, you see those nippers that I was talking about. Those things are awesome. It's like miniature katanas, slicing the sprues off the parts. Really, really clean cut. Doesn't make the material look pinched or change the color of it. Sometimes on these darker parts, you cut with a really bad pair of nippers, you'll get this off-white color where the plastic was heated from being squished. These nippers, super sharp. It slices it. You don't even see any kind of color variation. And that's pretty much the torso complete. For the shield, I didn't paint the back plate that matte color. You're not going to see it as much. It does kind of suck that the decals included in the kit weren't negatives, because I did want to hand paint that insignia. For this little raised convex line on the bottom of the shield, I'm going to go with my hand and put some, I think that's titanium gold I use, just to add some more definition. think all these parts came out great for the most part. There are some mistakes here and there that I've made, but I think that's kind of what makes these painted Gunpla unique. You know, there's not going to be another like it in the world that'll have the same imperfections that mine has, or the things that I did very well. There won't be anything else like it. This one is definitely truly mine, which I think is pretty cool. Again, this is like the 5th Gunpla I've ever made, and the first one I've fully painted like this. So I'm definitely learning. If you guys are, you know, leagues below me or leagues above me, I encourage you to keep on going and keep trying. As long as you love what you're doing and you love the end result, it doesn't matter what other people are going to think about it. I think this thing in the end came out just awesome. Getting some of the last few details together, snapping them all in. I think in the future I'm going to try to wear some cotton gloves or nylon gloves or something. Even though the parts had dried by like 8 or 9 days at this point after the clear coat, my fingerprints did make a matte finish that I had to go back with some Tamiya fine polishing compound and a polishing sponge, and that brought back that shine. But definitely in the future, probably going to use gloves. All right, we're coming to an end here. These are the cases for the funnels. I do kind of make a mistake. I go back and fix it in post. I had one of those swiveling doors from the opposite, so I basically had 2 lefts on one side and 2 rights on the other. I fixed that, but I think this is going to be pretty cool. I hope you guys like the big reveal.
リウス、侵入角度良好、速度良好。
シャア大佐はモビルスーツデッキで電波爆破をすることができません。
その分ギュネーが危険か。よし。ギュネーのヤクト動画を援護、回収する。サザビー出ます。サザビー発進。
Alright, don't make fun of me for the cheesy footage here. I was trying my best. It's my first time doing this, but it does get a bit lighter. I was trying to be over dramatic with the dark entrance here, but I absolutely love how this Gunpla turned out. That red color is just awesome. This chart has Noble's MSN-04 Sazabi and Char's counterattack. Absolutely killer. Absolutely love the color. I love how everything came together. I think if you were looking at this just for what it was, you might not be able to tell unless you're very in tune with the Gunpla universe that this is a high grade. It came out just awesome. Absolutely in love with this thing. It is the best Gunpla in my collection so far, even above my master grade H1 normal type. Love how those matte parts contrast the high gloss. Well, that's pretty much it, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Don't know if I'll do this for every single build going forward, but let me know if you enjoyed it. Let me know what I could have done better. Thank you for watching, and maybe I'll see you next time. This is the Mobile Suit Technician, signing off.